I have a couple friends who had their accounts frozen yesterday. So yeah.
I have a friend in Canada who gave me this chilling message today via a video messaging app that we use to communicate because this is an international call. So check this out.
Hey brother, so looks like I'm going to be picking your brain very, very soon on silver and that kind of stuff, because Canada decided yesterday that we're just going to give ourselves the right to freeze your bank accounts for no reason, just under suspicion. And we don't need a court order or anything, no warrant. Just if we are suspicious, then we're going to be able to freeze your accounts. I have a couple friends who had their accounts frozen yesterday. I'm going to be moving wealth out of things that are trackable by our government. Don't have much time at the moment. I gotta run here quick, but just thought, that's gonna be happening much sooner as opposed to later.
Well, that's chilling. And I gotta say, believe it or not, it's my birthday tomorrow. I'm gonna be 48 years old. And in my 48 years, I can't think of a time in the Western world where we have seen such an effort at utter dictatorship as we have seen by Justin Trudeau and his administration in Canada over the last few days. Basically, what has happened is that martial law has been enacted. They're calling it emergency powers, but it's martial law. And what you have to understand is that when you put economic sanctions on a person or on a nation, it's an act of war. Canada has declared war on its own people. And it's terrifying to think that this is something that can happen in the Western world, but it's happening. Listen, after the last year and a half or 2 years, no longer can we say the phrase, well, that could never happen here, because it can happen here. It is happening. Look, here's the thing. I don't want to spend a bunch of time talking politics here. We all know the gravity of the situation as stackers and preppers. So I just want to give a word of advice and encouragement to Canadians who may come across this. And if you have a Canadian friend, please share this with them on social media, because what I'm about to tell you is pretty important. My friend had two people that he knows directly, and they had their bank accounts seized without court order. So this is a call. This is a wake-up call to every American, Canadian, and European to get your money out of the banks. My friend wants to talk to me about buying gold and silver, and that's great. He wants to talk about precious metals. I've been showing him things from time to time, just planting seeds. Here's my message to you as a Canadian, as a North American citizen, as a European. Get your money out of banks. Get your money out of the bank. You need to be liquid. Listen, we saw hyperinflation in Lebanon, and bank accounts were basically inaccessible due to the fact that they were experiencing this hyperinflationary scenario. So you have to have cash on hand. And in this instance, in Canada, you have to get all of your cash out of the control of banks. What people need to wake up to is that politicians don't run this world. Banks run this world. Banks run it, okay? And so if your banks, if your money is in their banks, you are under their control. So you need to get out of the banking system altogether. Now, what do you do once you have that money out of the banking system? Good question. There's many options. Some of the options, if you're Canadian, you see right here in front of you. This is pre-1967 silver. Okay? 80% silver. Each dollar contains 0.6 of an ounce of silver. You can pick these up in most American coin shops for about $14 to $15. Silver's gone up. It might be a little bit more. But here's the thing is, I don't care what it costs at this point. You need to preserve your wealth, and you need to realize that if you're in silver, you're outside of their sphere or realm of control. So this is a big deal, guys. I got to tell you, I am not a prepper stacker, but I get the prepper stacker mentality. And I'm the type of person that, not that it could never happen, I just thought the likelihood of it was really, really low. Well, now we know the likelihood of governments abusing their power and stealing from their people is not just likely, it's a certainty. And we saw it in Canada. So get out of the banking system. In fact, if you want to really take a punch back at the system, Canada, listen to what my friend Junius Maltby said in his broadcast today. I'll leave a link to in the description below. But he recommends that Canadians can fight back by running the banks. If every Canadian citizen went to the bank and drained their accounts, and it doesn't have to be every Canadian. If a fraction of Canadians would just go to the bank and withdraw all their money, let's say 10%, you would do serious economic damage. They could not print the money fast enough to replace the money that you've taken out. So that's important. The cash is in your control and it's untrackable. But you're vulnerable. You're vulnerable to things like inflation when you have a heavy cash position. But you need cash to live, right? You still have bills to pay like everybody else does. So find alternative means by which you can pay your bills. A lot of people rely on online banking, and we may have to make it really uncomfortable on ourselves by, buying money orders, for example, going to the post office or going to Western Union and doing bank or wire transfers somehow. I don't know. I don't have all the answers here. I'm really just spitballing this thing. I'm not a financial advisor. Let me say that. But I got to tell you, if I'm giving advice to people that I care about, people I love, people in this audience, I got to tell you, get your money out of the banks. Don't wait another day. Don't wait another day. If you work tomorrow, take the day off. Now, you may get a lot of questions if you have large sums of money. If you have over $10,000 in the bank, liquid, that's in a checking or money market account, they may want to know what you plan on doing with this money. Say whatever you need to say. You may want to plead the fifth if do you have a Fifth Amendment in Canada? I don't know. I don't know what the answer is, but I know this, that if you have this stuff this is Canadian junk silver that I'm stacking up here, guys. $1.70 is 1 ounce of silver. Okay. Today's price, just about $23.50. I haven't checked spots since about noon today, but it's somewhere between $23 and $24. Okay. So about 14 or 15 times face value is the value of this stuff. Once you're liquid, once you are out of the banking system, please find a local coin shop which you can trust and work with them on a cash basis. And furthermore, work with them. It's impossible to work with them anonymously, but maybe don't share your name. At least your full name, your last name. Chances are these are people who have camera systems that the banks will try to seize the evidence. You know, it's hard to get out from underneath Big Brother. There's just no doubt about it. But listen, we are at war. Your government has declared sanctions on you. You need weapons and you need a shield. And guys, a good shield is made of metal. Okay? I'm not saying we're going to be led to boxcars and taken to concentration camps and put in gas chambers to our death. All right? But listen, they're willing to steal everything you have. Now, here's the deal. In the Old West, do you know that in the Old West, in America, it was illegal to steal a man's horse, and the punishment was the death penalty? Do you want to know why you got the death penalty for stealing a horse? Well, we didn't have convenience stores in the Wild West, right? We didn't have, automobiles and things like that. So if someone steals your horse and you're in the wilderness, they mean to kill you, because a horse can travel 3 to 4 times farther than a human can on foot in a given day. So to steal your horse is to wish you dead. And they knew that. And so what do you do when someone wants to steal all your money and make it so that you can't purchase goods? What do you think that person wants for you? Anything good? I doubt it. That is a person who means you harm, and they want you dead. And you can say, well, that's pretty hyperbolic, that's pretty extremist. Well, I've yet to see any evidence to the contrary of that point. So far, it's been all words. It's been a smear campaign against Canadian truckers. And this video is probably going to hit an algorithm and get taken down. This may even cost me my YouTube channel. Maybe they shut me down altogether. Who knows? But I got to tell you, this message has to get out to Canadians. And I'm going to say it again. Get your money out of the banks. Fly to the freedom of silver. Again, you're going to need to be liquid, so keep a cash position, and it's different for everybody. In my position, lower middle class, very meager income. This is the product of years of stacking diligently, and it's going to be different for everybody. But right now, we're debt-free. We have a pretty decent cash position, and most of it right now sits in a money market account. And that all changes tomorrow. That all changes tomorrow. So I hope that you will consider these words and act accordingly. Do what you feel is right for you. If you feel like you can trust your government and you feel like you can trust bankers after witnessing what we have witnessed in the last week, especially if you're a Canadian, well then, act accordingly. Leave your money where it is and say, well, I didn't donate any money to the Freedom Convoy, so I'm not in danger. Is that so? Are you sure about that? There was a saying, and I don't know who's responsible for it, but this was with regards to the Nazis in World War II. And again, this is hyperbolic. I get it. When you bring up Nazis, it invokes a certain emotion. I get that. But here's the saying I had in mind. When they came for the communists, I said nothing because I wasn't a communist. When they came for the homosexuals, well, I wasn't a homosexual, so I said nothing. When they came for the mentally infirmed, I said nothing because I was not mentally infirmed. It's none of my business. When they came for the socialists, when they came for the Jews, I said nothing. And finally, they came for me, and there was no one left to stand for me. Listen, do what you feel is right. But I gotta tell you, if there's one thing I believe with my whole heart, it's that you need to be out of your bank. Get out of your bank. Get out of debt. Get liquid. Get into cash. And listen, if you think you can rely on cryptos, I would strongly urge you to reconsider that position. Not because I think it's a bad investment or it's digital tulips or anything like that, but I believe anything digital is vulnerable to government control. So with that, guys, if you're still here and you haven't subscribed yet, I hope today is the day that I earn your subscription. And I hope that you'll share this far and wide. I know this was a rant, and it wasn't super articulate, just as my words right now aren't, but I'm concerned. I'm concerned for my friend. I'm scared for him. And so, if you're a praying person, pray for Canada, pray for freedom, and pray for peace.